I keep seeing a lot about this, and I just want to let everybody know what the reality of the situation will be in November of 2024. Whether people are going to like it or not, Joe Biden is going to be the one that is on the ticket, right? It's going to be Joe Biden against Donald Trump again in 2024. That's what we're going to get, okay? It's not going to change. So when people are saying they're not going to support Biden in 2024 because of his current stances on X, Y, or Z, right? It's maddening. Because when 2024 rolls around and we all go in the voting booths, it's going to be Joe Biden or Donald Trump. So when you're saying, I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden, either you're not going to vote at all or you're going to vote for Donald Trump. Am I hearing that correctly? Is that what you're going to do? Because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, you know you're going to vote for Joe Biden, just like we all did in 2020, because it's a safe option and it's not Donald Trump. We know exactly what Donald Trump will do if he becomes president again. And I can guarantee you one thing. We will never have another leader in America that is not affiliated with the people he surrounds himself with.
All right, guys. So this video right here is kind of a follow-up to the video that I did last night about Eric Adams and how Eric Adams' campaign fundraiser, his chief campaign fundraiser, had her house raided as Eric Adams was in D.C. to beg the Biden administration for more federal money to deal with the illegal immigration crisis in New York City. Now, Eric Adams had been criticizing the Biden administration, like openly criticizing Biden, telling the people that, hey, this is Biden's fault, right? Biden needs to secure the border and he needs to give us some more money so we can take care of the illegals. Now, in my opinion, I believe that Biden sent Eric Adams a warning by essentially saying, look, we have dirt on you. We're going to raid your campaign fundraiser's home, over an investigation into influence peddling, which is very ironic because Biden is like the chief influence peddler in this country. Okay, nobody peddles more influence than that guy, right? But again, it is a fascinating story because it basically shows you what happens when you cross the mob boss of the Democrat Party, Joe Biden, or any of the top people in the Democrat Party. And I want to expand on that because this interview segment right here from Stacey Abrams and Jen Psaki, I think kind of shows you exactly what I'm talking about in regards to how these Democrats go out of their way to defend Joe Biden, even when the reality is staring them in the face that Joe Biden has been a terrible president. They try to act like Joe Biden has been the best president ever, even though they admit that, hey, the country's not in good shape, but Joe Biden's been great. He's been an amazing president, which is essentially what Stacey Abrams tells Jen Psaki, with no pushback from Jen Psaki, of course. Take a look.
So much is going to be centered around the outcome in Georgia because we are a year out now from the election in 2024. You helped drive turnout in the state that was crucial to President Biden's win in 2020. Are you satisfied with the job he's done as president, what he's delivered on?
I think President Joe Biden has been an exceptional president on a range of issues. He has overperformed expectation. He has navigated incredibly difficult circumstances, and he has shown that he is willing to stand with the people of Georgia, with the people of this country, to move the nation forward. We have to remember what we face if we want to continue to hold on the progress we've had, but we can't ignore the fact that people's lives are harder. And this is not because of the president. It is because of global issues and international challenges and market conditions and a whole host of things that don't matter to you when you're sitting at your kitchen table. But for elected officials and those of us who want to see people show up and vote and participate and re-elect Joe Biden, we have to meet people where they are. They have baked in the successes they've seen. They need to know what's next. And I think President Biden is doing a good job of laying out what that can look like and painting that picture. But we have to remember that people remember what they feel when they walk into a voting booth. And that means we've got to ensure that what they feel is hope, what they feel is progress, and what they feel is that their votes matter.
Yeah, so apparently Stacey Abrams, who's a known election denier, right, according to the Democrats and their own standards, apparently is also a reality denier, because this woman does not seem to realize that 63% of Democratic or Democratic-leaning voters are saying that they will be willing to consider another candidate depending on the events leading up to the primary. Like, a vast majority of Democrats want another candidate. Joe Biden's approval rating is the lowest ever that we've seen in recent history for a president. And everything under Joe Biden has been an absolute disaster. But again, according to Stacey Abrams, none of that is his fault, right? None of that is Joe Biden's fault, okay? The Afghan withdrawal was not Joe Biden's fault, right? It wasn't his fault that he made the final decision in regards to withdrawing from that country and allowing the Taliban to take back over the way that they did, right? I mean, they literally took over in like 2 weeks. Again, 20 years and trillions of dollars and thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives, okay, civilians and American soldiers, all that wasted in 2 weeks under Joe Biden, right? Because of his poor execution of the Afghanistan withdrawal. Not his fault, right? None of it is his fault, right? According to Stacey Abrams, okay? Inflation, okay? We've had historic inflation where real wages are declining, okay? You have not had wage growth keep up with the rate of inflation. Now, Democrats have passed a number of policies that have contributed to inflation, including spending trillions of dollars, okay, on a stimulus package that we did not need after Joe Biden got elected. The Inflation Reduction Act actually increased inflation and contributed more to inflation. None of that is Joe Biden's fault, right? According to Stacey Abrams, right? Not Joe Biden's fault. It's the world is at fault, right? Not Joe Biden, okay? Record high interest rates, mortgage rates are so high, people can't afford to buy homes. Again, why are interest rates so high? Well, because the rate of inflation is so high. And the Fed is trying to bring down inflation by inflicting as much pain as they can on the economy by raising interest rates. They would not have to do it at the pace that they're doing it now, or that they did it, had it not been for the Democrats deciding to spend even more money than we already spent when Joe Biden got in office, even though it was unnecessary. Democrats decided to keep the economy shut down longer than it needed to be shut down, okay? There are a number of policies that Democrats have enacted that have fueled inflation, right? But again, none of that is Joe Biden's fault, right? The border crisis, in which Joe Biden has come in and undid Trump policies that deterred people from coming. Biden, when the primary was going, and also Kamala as well too, told illegals, come to this country, right? Because telling people not to come is hate and bigotry. They encouraged the illegals to come to the country, okay? The illegals did exactly what Biden told them to do, but according to Stacey Abrams, none of that, right? None of that is Joe Biden's fault. None of that's Joe Biden's fault. Again, amazing stuff. Absolutely amazing. How she can sit up there with a straight face and Jen Psaki nods along as if what she's saying has any basis in reality by saying, well, we know that the American people are suffering, right? We know that it's bad, but none of it is Joe Biden's fault, right? The president has actually done an exceptional job. Exceptional job. He's been an exceptional president. Amazing stuff. Now, again, why does she say this? Well, she says this because, again, this is how the Democrat Party works, right? The Democrat Party is a mob, okay? They rule by intimidation tactics that force their members to fall in line, even when, again, clearly the incentive for a Democrat, in my opinion, right? If you look at the situation in this country, is to come out here and say, hey, no, I don't agree with this, right? I don't agree with what, Biden's done. Don't blame it on me, right? I'm not on board with this. But most Democrats get on board with the program because they know that Biden will crack the whip on them, right? The powers that be will crack the whip on them if they don't get along with the program. And that's exactly what's happening right here with Stacey Abrams, right? Look at what happened with Eric Adams. Eric Adams started criticizing Biden for the border crisis. Okay, he started saying it's Biden's fault that the illegals are living in a bad situation in New York City. Biden crapped the whip on his ass, right, and sent the feds to his door. Best believe Stacey Abrams has a lot of dirt in her closet, okay, because you can't become a high-ranking member of the Democrat Party, in which Stacey Abrams down there in Georgia. I guess you would consider her to be up there since she was their person to be governor, right? You don't get in a position like hers without, having some dirt. And best believe, if Stacey Abrams would have came out here and blamed Joe Biden, like she should, for the state of the economy, the border, all the failures that are happening domestically and abroad, which, again, in my opinion, a lot of it is Joe Biden's fault. Oh, best believe Joe Biden would have cracked the whip on her the same way that he cracked the whip on Eric Adams, okay? And it happens every single time. Guys, you guys remember the squad? When the squad first came onto the scene, right? 2017, 2018, 2019, right? AOC, all these members came into Congress. We're going to take down the establishment. We're going to go after Nancy Pelosi, right? They were staging protests at Nancy Pelosi's office, right? 2 to 3 months in to their term, right? Less than a year, they're out here taking photo ops with Nancy Pelosi, calling her Mama Bear, right? Nancy Pelosi is Mama Bear, okay? They kissing up to Nancy Pelosi. And now all the criticism that they had for the Democrats, the establishment, all that criticism, now they focus their energy on Trump, right? Trump is enemy number one. Again, that's how it works every single time. Every single time you have some of these Democrats that come out here and they question their dear leader, whether that be Joe Biden, Hillary, Pelosi, Schumer, any of these people, right, that claim to be anti-establishment, they want change, blah, blah, blah. They get set straight and put back in line quick, fast, in a hurry every single time. But on the opposite end of the spectrum in the Republican Party, right, it's totally fine to be a never Trumper, right? It's totally fine to, say you hate Trump, you don't like Trump, to question Trump, okay? And, hey, voters might not like it, but the establishment is going to be totally fine with it, right? You're not going to see the establishment raiding your house, right? You're not going to have the FBI show up to your house raiding you if you question Trump or if you criticize Trump. In fact, again, you're going to have more of your dirt covered, right? You're going to be able to be even more dirty, right? You're going to be able to get away with crimes if you question Trump. But if you are Trump, right, then again, they're going to send the feds at your door. If you question Biden, they're going to send the feds at your door, okay? And there's no doubt in my mind, that's what you're saying that is happening here with Stacey Abrams. I don't understand how these so-called pro-black people, these people that, their whole thing is that we're pro-black, right? And that those conservatives, especially those black conservatives, they're acting on behalf of the white man. But yet these people are literally coming out here and trying to get black people to vote for what has just objectively been a disaster, right? Not just for black people, but for the country as a whole. And they're trying to piss on your leg and tell you that it's raining, okay? That's what Stacey Abrams is doing. Her saying that Joe Biden is an exceptional president, again, that's just a delusional statement, right? She should lay on somebody's couch and get checked out for making a statement like that, okay? I get that you're Team Democrat, but if the country was in a state of disaster, right, under a Republican, I'm not going to come out here and tell you that everything's all good, right? It's amazing. Everything's amazing, even when people know that it's not, right? again, it's just, it blows my mind. It really does. Because again, it's funny because black conservatives like myself are always told that one day you're going to get your Negro wake-up call, right? One day the white man is going to put you in your place. He going to remind you that you're black, right? But that's never happened to me before. However, I can name numerous times where Democrats have put black liberals in their place, right? And reminded them that, hey, if you speak out against dear leader, there are severe consequences, right? Which is, again, why you see all of these people line up and support an administration that clearly is failing, right? That clearly is not doing well, but they're pretending that Joe Biden's the best president we've ever had, right? Again, it's fascinating to watch, right? Everything that they said that would happen to black conservatives actually happens to black liberals, right, at the hands of white liberals. But again, the pro-blacks don't seem to really see that, right? That's something that they're blind to. They don't see when it happens, when Democrats, put black liberals in line, right? It's really amazing. It really is. So again, I just find Stacey Abrams here and her coming out here and saying that, we know that things are bad, but Joe Biden's been great, right? He's been exceptional. It's everybody else's fault. It's not Joe Biden's fault. It's just delusional, man. It really is. And that's part of the reason why it is a blessing that she did not become governor of Georgia and that hopefully she will never hold political office ever again. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.